Hi, everyone. Dr. Emily Letran here, speaker, executive coach, and dentist, event organizer, best mom in the world. And today I wanted to share a little bit about the concept of freedom. And as a business owner, entrepreneur, um, I know we all think about freedom as, what can you do when you want to do it, the circumstances, how can you create circumstances and situations where it's going to allow you to have the freedom to do what you love. And I think in order to do that, we really have to be an entrepreneur. We really have to be able to work for ourselves. I just had the privilege to kind of leave work in the middle of the day at around 11 something, 12 o'clock, and go take a lunch. It was a surprise lunch for one of my friends, which is took me about 40 minutes to get to the place. And then after lunch, I I was able to just go home and do a Facebook Live interview with several of my friends because we are all speaking at an event that I'm hosting in Nashville in July. And the reason I want to talk about freedom is because I allow myself to leave work. I did have to reschedule a patient. So to leave work, and then in the afternoon, I didn't schedule any patient. So I could go home and do the interview. And now, since I'm already home, I'm doing this particular life. So having the freedom to be able to create your own schedule is pivotal. And how do we do that? Well, we gotta run our business in a way where when we are there, we are being super productive. We can create that income to support us when we're not physically in the business. And that's one of the reasons why I start going into coaching and consulting because I do a lot of that virtually and I could do it from home. I could do it while I'm traveling. I could do it in the bedroom per se, um, because that particular business allows me to use my knowledge, and obviously some technology in order to serve other clients. So think about your business and which part of your business can you take virtually. And I understand you could be doing clinical work, but that's where telehealth uh, come into play, especially during COVID. And I don't want to keep mentioning that, but basically it allows you to serve people on a particular platform. And I know of different platforms. If you want to know about, you can reach out to me. So in the on the dental space, I'm on Dentulu, which is I got one of the patient. We got live on the platform for about less than 5 minutes, and then after that, the patient came in to see me, and by this time, he had invested several $1,000s with me. But it started from that live virtual call on Dentulu. Another friend of mine, Marty, she provide platform for healthcare across the verticals. So even if you know that you kind of have to like in dentistry, we kind of have to work on the patient, but that initial contact could be virtual. And so think of what part of your business can be virtual, and especially if you're doing consulting, if you're teaching, and schools prove all of this throughout the last few years because schools could not be held physically, but the kids can still learn. And I understand there are challenges with that, but it's about how do you make the best out of the situation, and virtual is the way to go. And so, which part of your business can you do virtually? Um, and which part of your business that you haven't even thought about, but you can take virtual. So, consulting, coaching, those are all businesses that you can do virtual, and it comes from what you already know. So, you don't even need to go and say, hey, I got to go and enroll in this class, and I need to go get a uh, master in public health, or I need to go get a PhD or something management. If you run a business already, maybe you can just start doing consulting based on what you know, and especially if you run a successful business, that's always better, right? But you have that track record. You've been doing it for several times. So, for example, in my consulting business, I've been doing my dental practices for it's going to be 25 years this September. I've been a dentist for almost 30 years. So there's a lot of knowledge and experience that go through that, taking the business through different cycles, maybe getting sued, so having that experience. Um, Also, I bought and sold different dental practices over the year. So I have that experience there on somebody who's considering going into the business. And it doesn't have to be a dental business. It would be a business and brick and mortar business, the marketing aspect, choosing the location, how do you set it up? I can help with all of that. Now, if you're talking about an online business, so I have online coaching, I host webinars, I host live events. All of those things could drive people, or what we call in marketing traffic, to whatever program that you have. So it could be virtual, or it could be live, it could be in person. All of those things are tied together, but it comes from my experience having done that. So in the consulting coaching business, I've been doing this since 2016. So a couple years. But I've been really out there positioning myself. So there are quite a few people who may know me. And I may not know them, but they have known me because I'm out there on social media and on multiple platforms. So if you have what you have, we call it the advice business, and I learned this from one of my earlier business coach, David Fagan. You're in the advice business. You're giving people advice. You 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 explaining to them how to do certain things, right? Then you can certainly leverage all of that without actually having to go and get another degree or another certification, etc. In my case, for high performance coaching, I actually got certified for that because, coming from my background, that's one of the things that we have to be certified. We have to get a degree. So when I started my coaching, that's what I did. But you don't have to, because if you know how to teach certain thing, if you know how to create a framework, then you can start there, coaching and helping other people and sharing your knowledge, your strategy, and being able to monetize that. So going back to freedom, when you're doing something virtual, you can practically do it anywhere. Especially, obviously, you need the internet, but you can do it everywhere. If you're teaching people by writing, by blogging, right, or by maybe you're putting out articles on certain platforms, or even in a magazine, whether it's a it's a printed magazine or it's an online magazine. All of those things you can do it from anywhere. If you have a brick and mortar business, yes, then you have to actually show up. Well, do you have to show up, or can somebody else show up for you? Can somebody else give the service or products in your place? Can you do it in what? Should we just stick to one location? Can we do it in more than one location? And I'm not talking about franchising, okay? I'm talking about you yourself creating all of these things. And because once you take yourself out of the business and you create a business that run on systems and it run on other people's effort, then you can get that freedom. You can take off traveling, whether it's for pleasure or maybe you're traveling for business. People ask me all the time, "Are you still doing dentistry?" And I said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, we don't see you doing dentistry." And I said, "Yes, I do the live Facebook sometime, actually weekly, but I've been doing it in Facebook group for dentists. But I do it right in my office. So you know what? You can see me. I'm in scrub and I got a white jacket, but I'm physically in the office. Um, and in my traveling, if I know ahead of time that I'm speaking at certain events or I'm going to be attending certain events, then my schedule is around that, while other people in the office is running the business. So having that vision to have that freedom, that you can do things you want at the time you want, so on your own schedule, basically. And if you own a business, you should be able to run your own schedule. And if your business have to go 9 to 6 all the time, then ask yourself, you have to be there all the time, or can you put somebody in there and run the business for you? So these are all the considerations whenever we talk about freedom, right? Because the freedom start with the freedom to schedule your life. But you have to make the decision that that's what you want. Because a lot of time we don't even make that decision. We think we have to be there. We think we have to be the one providing the service. A lot of my friends would say, "Hey, you know what? My all of my patients want me." Well, that's not exactly true. Um, I busted that myth. It's about 2 years in when I have my practice. I bought the practice in '97, and I just had my daughter in '96, and in '99 I got pregnant again. And I busted that myth. I didn't have to be there. Patient did not need to see me because I put in an associate doctor and patients were coming in to see her. So sometimes you have to understand that, no, the patient love to see you or your customers love to see you, but maybe you don't have to be there. Maybe you can be there on certain days that if they really need to see you, they're going to come in on those days. But other than that, it's business as usual, whether or not you're there. So I invite you to think about freedom that way. I invite you to celebrate your freedom uh, by taking off in the middle of the day, if you could, and celebrate yourself, celebrate with friends, do things that allow you to understand and appreciate that freedom. And obviously, having the gratitude that people around you are supporting your business, your customers, your clients, your patients, they're supporting your business. So you don't take that lightly, but at the same time, understand that you've earned that freedom if you run your business a particular way. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. My next event is Action to Win is actually going to be in Nashville. So would love to see you there. It's within a dental festival. There's a couple of speakers who are going to talk about clinical dentistry, but the whole event is really about business growth. And I would love to see you there. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. Um, I would love to talk to you, see if I can help you solve one problem in your business, and maybe we're a good fit to work together to help you achieve that particular freedom that you want. So reach out to me. And to go to my event, you can go to thedentalfestival.com/action dash to to dash win, WIN, um, and message me for a special discount. So see you all later. And please have a productive week and work on that freedom.